我的同事在哪里？
我知道，不是那个标识，不是这种标识的。
他有没有吧？
他也没有。
有一个刚才一个灰色西服那个女生，您可以让她来确定带你进入。
你的老公在哪？
对，
老公在。我想那块你的老公想和我聊一下。
Just make sure they're recording. Hey, man. Pleasure to meet you, man. Thanks. I appreciate the. Hey, nice to meet you.
Jamie, can you, I just want a voice, so can you, that conversation move away from the door, please?
Say a little something.
10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1.
Yeah, hold it a bit closer.
Hang on, sorry, I'm calling my people as well as doing this. So. Hey, can you make sure you're recording on the SBS feed? Because I'm about to send a voice on it.
Okay. Liz is going to send a voice on that feed. And we are recording it.
All right, great. Talk to you.
Okay. All right.
Bye. All right. How's this sounding? 10 9 8. Oh.
Yep. I'm listening.
3. In 3, 2 and 1. Inside the Great Hall of the People, a Prime Minister and a President of two countries briefly... All right, 3, 2, 1. Inside the Great Hall of the People, a Prime Minister and a President of two countries briefly foes, now friends. Restored trade ties celebrated, but Anthony Albanese also raised thorny issues, the case of detained Australian writer Young Hung Jun and Chinese military aggression, including live firing off our coast. Beijing took issue with the Albanese government's commitment to end Chinese ownership of the port of Darwin, or possibly, if Beijing is worried about the Albanese government's commitment to end the Chinese ownership of the port of Darwin, they didn't voice it. And with US trade tariffs looming, ties with China become all-important. In Beijing, Liz Daniels, 9 News. Thanks, guys.
No worries. Thanks. Sound good?
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful, thanks so much. Hello. What do you think about if the live went somewhere and still in a holding pattern putting the post out in town?
Liz just did that then.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Oh, she's already done this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. We can discuss it in
What?
Also, my
So you're leaving?
Just a lot going on.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, it's Tom. I see you splitting out to everyone, but it's still being out with me being 14 PM presser. Cool, thanks for that. Oh, yes, idea. Hello. Just going to do another voiceover here, guys, so if we can keep it a bit quiet.
I'll just wear a jacket. I'll just be a set time. Yeah.
Do you want to voice with me somewhere else?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to stress anything
And
out.
feed it back with the cuts.
No, it has to be before that because I need to rush give you this to come up with the presser.
When are the cuts going to go?
Sorry?
When are the cuts going to get
I'll
fed?
feed it after the beast to come up.
Okay.
My beast to come should go first because at 5 o'clock and we'll be back to back.
Cool.
So the reason I said maybe I can do it now and you can send it.
Yep,
just to,
that would be good.
Because
All right,
people
let's do
will
it. Let's do it.
see this.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I'll just be like, can I have 2 minutes to do it or no?
Yeah.
Yeah? Thanks, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll do that. Do you want to put what? Yeah, it should be 5 or something.
What's up? How we doing? Check 1 2. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I'm a cameraman, dude. I don't know how to count past 8. It's a miracle I can count past 4.
Sorry, I'm just walking through.
How could you? You've interrupted.
Do all the reporters
You-
use the other one? Nah. Cool.
Yeah. You guys good?
Yeah, thanks for that.
No wuckers.
Coffee machine. Yeah, like me doing this. That's how escalated students. Oh, shit. What was that kind of? Yeah, well then it's gonna be. Like, that's how. That's like the Friends. No, yeah, Friends. It's like Australia don't even know who he was, and we're like in America. Yeah, just saying.
Yeah, I will.
Well, yeah, that's why I was glad that we take.
just calling you to let you know as soon as this press was done, we're trying to move quickly to do a advertisement. So it's recording my phone until that happens. That's cool. Yeah, so it might take a few minutes to reposition this. Cool. Okay. Yep. Yep. 3:15.
Is it? Just that you'll be contain cots,
Yep.
live cots, and will contain others.
Yep.
Put them on email, I'll make sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
How far up here from the press room? Yeah, I might go get my kid just in case. Yeah, I might go get my camera gear and stuff just in case.
No, I mean, the street is terribly stable.
How are you doing?
This is a room.
Sorry.
Uno, due, tre, prova. 1, 2, 3, prova microfono. 1, 2, 3, prova.
Sorry, Will. That's right. Laura, where are you? Laura? Okay. The other
And this is to go to everyone. Okay. Just take it. Just tell her I'll be recording. Give me 1 second.
Oh, sorry, Anna. Just wait 1 second.
I'm recording.
Andrew, recording when you're ready. Yep.
See you guys.
And I'm pretty sure it's also all you count along all these like
Yeah, I saw the one you sent to your MCR. Yeah. All good to go, mate. No worries. How are you, mate? Right. What else with your life? What's up? What else do you want to do with your life?
just letting you know.
Pretty cool, man.
Yeah. He went to go under it because I was like moving, and he's like, no, but and like, and I was like,
but then after me,
There's two options. PM and C is willing to take us to a hotel about half an hour.
but maybe I'm not calling later on to just last night.
The other option is I can't go there
I have to look it up every time.
and then the law is BBC is a quick visual. Does that sound sensible? And someone else is obviously or someone else. I think that might be the only way. Okay, Matt. Okay, sounds good. I'll leave you. Thank you. See ya.
Because what's happening is I have to go halfway. I do halfway and then I go. Because I have to do a picture camera for that. But if you do a picture camera, then you must have to go down to the parts.
Hot mics, everybody.
That's the problem. I don't think that
Outside. No, it's ABC. No, we're going to travel to. Have you got all your gear ready to out of here?
Yeah, but we need to do this camera. So I'm going to go fast.
Sorry.
And that's perhaps to leave the room halfway.
Well,
Steve, outside is sitting downstairs, ready to go.
you want to? Well,
Yeah. Well, so does he set a...
yeah, well, you can just shove your thing on his thing and they can feed it back to ABC. When are you going to? Oh, you want to do it halfway?
You, how does it all go? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Lie down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not Tom.
Okay. Do you want me to use the ABC hammer?
Maybe we'll be where else?
Does he know it?
Yeah, all good.
So I'll say for like the first 2 minutes. I don't know.
You know, you said it was
Sorry, I made this sense. I know the voice stuff, but I have to finish receiving the car off. I just want to get I'd much rather have you guys
What channel is that?
Hey guys, he's on his way.
Yeah, I made it. Might have been because we're in the car. Yeah. I can use it.
We can re-release it there. No one will be watching it.
Just be aware that PM knows we all have to start moving about 2:45, so the passing will be not.
Is anyone staying here?
Yes. I have to, yes.
Yeah. Stephen,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might just leave some gear in here.
Okay.
You're like a box and stuff. You reckon you could take
I'll do that. I probably can't get one running like an absolute nightmare. I'm really sorry. I can't do it. I'll take No, that's what I'm saying. I'll stay on one side. I was just saying. So we don't clear everything.
Is anyone staying behind? Is anyone not going? Thank you. I'm not going to the... I am
Will's going to go.
Okay, so you guys can be here.
Yep.
Absolutely going. We have a little bit of additional equipment. It might take you to your room. Okay. Happy you're not leaving the call. Or would you take it right now?
Is it just a case?
It'll be a case
And you're able to
Just remember, I'm a print journal, you know. Like, oh, really? This is foreign.
But we all handsomely reported.
So if you try to case for another case.
It's like 2 things you have to
No, it's probably like no problem. That's what's fine. You can also maybe just
Oh, yes, of course. Yep.
thank you. Sorry.
Thanks for telling me that.
No, well,
Probably top 6, 6 or 5. I don't know, but that would be something.
maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, but
Good afternoon. It is very good to be back in Beijing for my second visit as Prime Minister. And this morning we had a very constructive meeting with President Xi in which we spoke about the range of issues facing our relationship with China. Here and always I'm guided by Australia's national interests. My government's approach to our relationship with China is patient, is calibrated and is deliberate. And it is aimed at cooperating wherever we can, disagreeing where we must, but engaging in our national interest. Given that 1 in 4 of Australian jobs depends upon trade, and given that China is overwhelmingly, by far, the largest trading partner that Australia has, it is very much in the interests of Australian jobs and the Australian economy to have a positive and constructive relationship with China. Dialogue is how we advance our interests, how we manage our differences, and we guard against misunderstanding. And the purpose of my visit here is to advance Australia's interests. President Xi and I agreed that dialogue must be at the centre of our relationship. We also discussed our economic relationship, which is critical to Australia. We spoke about the potential for new engagement in areas such as decarbonisation. That was the subject of the forum that was held yesterday. This afternoon, after this, we'll travel back to the centre of Beijing for meetings with Chairman Zhao of the National People's Congress, for the annual leaders meeting with Premier Li. We'll then have a signing of various MOUs, and then we will have the CEO roundtable. The fact that senior Australian business people, led by the Business Council of Australia, have come here to Beijing, as well as were present in Shanghai, and indeed Australian businesses will also be engaged with us in Chengdu, shows how important the economic relationship is and how the Australian business community regard this as an important relationship. We will then have, later this evening, a banquet hosted by Premier Li, but I thank very much President Xi, not just for the bilateral meeting that we're able to have, but also hosting a banquet lunch there in the Great Hall of the Peoples, which is an honour which is bestowed on Australia. Whoa, 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 whoa. There.
On the security side, did you seek assurances that Australia would be better informed in the future about the PLA's Navy in Australian waters, and has China asserted its right to free navigation in that?
Yes, to the former, and secondly, in response, of course, it was President Xi said that China engaged in exercises just as Australia engages in exercises. Here, we'll go around. Yeah.
Thanks, Prime Minister. Can I just clarify on that answer that specifically sought that the notification was really the issue that Australia had earlier in the year? And can I also ask discussions you would have had around the case of jailed Australians of the Argentine?
On the latter, yes. And on the former issue, I said what I said at the time, which was that it was within international law. There was no breach of international law by China, but that we were concerned about the notice and the way that it happened, including the live fire exercises.
You've spoken a lot about the importance of increasing dialogue, building engagement between businesses. What tangible outcomes are you looking for moving into a free trade agreement?
Well, you'll see some outcomes this afternoon. I will travel back immediately after this for the leaders' meeting with Premier Li. But already what you've seen is a range of business-to-business relationships, if you like, coming forward. Some of those have been written about already. On the free trade agreement, one of the provisions, not unusually in the CHAFTA, the Chinese-Australia Free Trade Agreement that was signed by the former government 10 years ago in 2015, following the comprehensive partnership that was signed also by the Abbott government, was there's a clause in there for a review. That will happen because the 10 years has clicked in, so we'll engage in that. Paul, and then Tim.
Prime Minister, your government's made clear its concern about China's unexplained military build-up. Did you seek clarity on China's strategic or military intent? And did you seek any clarity, or did you gain any insight into China's plans for reunification of Taiwan?
I reaffirmed on Taiwan Australia's position of support for the status quo. On the
military build-up and what its purpose is, what China's strategic and military aims are.
Well, you would be surprised if that was brought forward. I'm not sure what you're getting at or what you're suggesting might have been raised. I'm not sure the context.
Well, your government's raised concerns about the military build-up and the lack of clarity around what it might be used for. Do you feel confident that China is a force for peace in the region after this meeting?
Well, what we did was we put forward Australia's position, or I did, which is that we want peace and security in the region. That is in the interests of both Australia and in the interests of China.
Prime Minister, our security partner, the United States, regards China as its greatest military threat. I'd like you, if you could, to say how do you regard China in terms of this threat, and particularly has your view on the security threat changed as a result of your sitting down with the President?
On the latter, no, it hasn't. We have strategic competition in the region, but we continue to engage in order to support peace and security in the region and stability in the region. And that's something that we advocate for. It's something I advocated for today.
Prime Minister, did the President...
And then I'll go here and then I'll come back.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Did the President express any objection to your plans about bringing the Port of Darwin back into Australian hands, or any potential response that China might take to that?
No, it wasn't raised.
Prime Minister.
PM, President Xi asked you to continue to improve the relationship, no matter what happened in the world. This seemed to be a reference to the United States. Did you make any sort of commitments in terms of the ongoing relationship with China in terms of the actions of the United States and what it may do?
I spoke about the relationship with China. That was the purpose of the visit and the purpose of the meeting. And the fact is we do live in an uncertain world, something that I've said a number of times during the recent election campaign. You might have noted that in various speeches, media conferences on a daily basis. So that is just a fact, that observation. But I was speaking about the relationship between Australia and China, and I asserted Australia's position.
You mentioned Dr. Yang was mentioned. Are you able to elaborate, and are we getting close to perhaps getting him out of jail and back home to Australia?
Well, I raised Dr. Young's case. You wouldn't expect there to be an immediate outcome. That's not the way these things work. The way it works is by that patient, calibrated advocacy. That is what Australians do. That's what my government does. And I point to my government's record when it comes to these issues. No, we're going around.
Hi, James from Bloomberg News. You mentioned dialogue, but on defensive intercepts in the South China Sea, in the East China Sea, Australia has complained a number of times about Chinese actions, which have been Australia's set unsafe. Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan, other countries have also said the same thing. Do you think, or do you get an impression that there is going to be more dialogue on these kinds of things? There is going to be a change in how the PLA acts in the region, or are your queries on this falling on deaf ears?
Well, we raised the issue of Australia's interests, and we raised it in specific contexts as well, that there have been these maritime incidents. And one of the things that we know is that dialogue is a good thing. When I spoke at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore as the lead keynote speaker a few years ago, I spoke about the need for, I think it was 2023, so 2 years ago. I spoke about the need for there to be military-to-military communication between the United States and China, which had broken down. And I spoke in that context as well about the relationship that was there for a long time between the United States and the Soviet Union during the Cold War, and that there was always communication. If you don't have communication, you can have misadventure and misinterpretation as well. It's a good thing. I spoke about that in Shangri-La Dialogue, and I've spoken about it ever since.
Prime Minister Lewis from Reuters. How has US President Donald Trump's trade policy, in particular as it relates to Australia, affected how Australia approaches its relationship with China?
Oh, look, our relationship with China is very separate from that. China's our major trading partner, the destination for more than 1 in 4 of our export dollars comes here. The trade with the United States is important, but it's less than 5%. What Australia is doing is engaging not just with China, but we engage as well with our partners around the world, and we increasingly want to see a diversification of our trade. Anna.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Supporters of young joining in Australia, including Factual, say that they think the approach that the government has taken has been too soft and too weak, and has actually invited bullying from the CCP. I'd like your response to that. In the same vein, do you hold any concerns about the fact that Australian media were encircled by local authorities earlier today, asked to delete our footage, and that the police were going to be called because we were reporting on this business?
Well, on the issue, I'm certainly not going to comment on what the family of someone who is detained here or anyone else or anywhere else. That would be entirely inappropriate and insensitive. I understand the pressures that are on people when a loved one has been incarcerated. What we will do, though, is put forward our views in a diplomatic way in order to try to maximise an outcome. And I point towards the outcomes where Australians here in China, in Myanmar, in Vietnam, in Indonesia, the United States and the UK have all received outcomes that at the least could be called satisfactory because of my government's advocacy, and will continue to do that in order to achieve outcomes, and that is what our objective is. The media, of course, I'm here paying my respect to the media here. That's what I do. China has a different system, obviously, with the media, but certainly I'm here being accountable, straight. I came straight here, and I'm going straight back. Now, Stephen, and then we'll go here and here.
Just briefly on the Pacific, did you discuss the Pacific with President Xi? Did you ask China for clarity on its strategic objectives or urge it to work through the Pacific Islands on Secretariat? And if you did, what was the President's response?
Well, I stated our position of peace and security in the Pacific, and stated my position of our engagement in the Pacific.
Prime Minister, did Xi raise US pressure on Australia and other allies over the defence of Taiwan?
No. Will?
President Xi did raise the point of dialogue, and
Yeah.
you didn't use the opportunity to meet him to explain the policy.
I don't need to. I've had the same position for a decade since the Liberal government chose to provide an incentive to the Liberal federal government, chose to give an incentive to the Northern Territory Liberal government to flog off an asset. None, it wasn't raised. I can't be clearer than that. I can't be clearer than to say the question I was asked was not raised. Hang on.
Did he raise complaints about Australia's foreign investment regime?
No. Last one.
About the trajectory that we're on and that it shouldn't change regardless of the international landscape. It did appear to be a comment about Donald Trump. Did he make any direct comments about Donald Trump or the US trade tariffs in relation to, I guess, in conversations about trade?
Well, I, of course, asserted Australia's view, which was we stand for free and fair trade. We want to see an open trading system. President Xi did, as part of his remarks, of course, speak about the importance of international trade as well. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Are you going to the